Let's go.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the team versus team event here between ARC and GRT. This should be on for a good one. We have two races on tap for today. We have the first race here at Interlagos in their Group 3 cars in the Aston Martin DBR9, and the second race in the Honda NSX Group 4 car. But first, I should introduce myself. My name is Lateral G, and I'm joined in the commentary booth by...
Hi, Savvy. How are you doing tonight then, Lateral?
I'm doing pretty good myself. And this actually should be a pretty competitive race, all things considered, especially looking at some of the pre-lobby practice times that are going on. ARC might be in for one today. But as we were...
Yeah. Oh, sorry, go on.
I was just going to try and cover what events we got on tap for today, as I mentioned. We have Interlagos in the DBR9, tire wear on ×5 and fuel on ×5. Racing softs and mediums are the allotted tire. I don't believe we have any restrictions on how many sets of softs you can use, at least not to my knowledge. And then for race 2, as we mentioned, the Group 4 Honda NSX with ×5 tire wear and ×5 fuel wear, with maximum tire being softs and the minimum tire being the hards. Both races are 30 minutes long. So we're going to get qualifying underway here just momentarily. I believe the notification was roughly 2 minutes. And I know I'm going to have to knock on wood, but so far in every team versus team event we've had, ARC has come out on top by a fairly sizable margin. Do you think that trend is going to continue here today?
Quite possibly. I think this might be the toughest test that the ARC drivers have to offer. You said to us before we got on the stream that the GRT, isn't it? Or is it GTR? GRT.
GRT.
Yeah. They've got way more subscribers than us, and so it's obviously a well-known community is the GRT. So I think ARC has got have got it all to do, really. I know that they are like undefeated so far, but this is a proper test for the drivers that are competing for the ARC for sure.
It definitely should be interesting, especially as I mentioned some of the quality times that have been going on, especially with drivers from GRT like GRT Jack and GRT Caldwell. They definitely seem to be topping the time charts. Whether or not they can do it for the course of entire race, how they do over tire wear, we have yet to see. But we're just resetting the lobby now, as qualifying should be getting underway momentarily here. And qualifying is live. Let's cut to the race scene. So there you have it. Let's have a look at our drivers on tap for today. First out of the pits, representing ARC, will be DM Charles, formerly known the Charles TT or Chucky TT, if you will. You have Thomas TT behind him. Ruby also representing ARC, Taven and Maddie, also on the ARC team with Mermaid. And that is 6 drivers for ARC. That's our ARC team. And then behind them, representing GRT, we have GRT Jack, GRT Gemini, GRT Racer 249, GRT Mashed Potato, and GRT Marmite.
Wow, that's not a good combination. Mashed potato and Marmite. Oh, I wouldn't try that.
As I mentioned, we are here in Interlagos under the setting sun. I have to admit, this track Interlagos with the sunset, the lighting is absolutely beautiful. They both did a great job with the lighting in this track for this situation. For example, if I turn off the dial on the bottom of the screen, that looks like I'm watching a real race. And I have to give props to Polyphony for that.
So they can get their servers properly. Anyways, so I mean, this is a fun track, isn't it? Interlagos, swooping up and down and fast corners, as well as again another test for the drivers. Honest, are you actually kind of happy that this track is back in season 4?
A little bit, yeah. It's one of the original, or I want to say, heritage F1 tracks in a way, in that it's not a Herman Tilke track that's designed to be a racetrack. It's a track that's laid out in such a way, and it's up to the drivers to find the fastest way around it. It's not cookie cutter, it's not textbook, and it's tricky. It's got a lot of off-camber corners, elevation changes, as you mentioned. So if someone's going to come out on top on a track like this, it's going to have to be the best driver that can figure out their car on this track. But we have GRT Jack currently starting his first flying lap. See if I get the corner names up here. Let me just pull that up. There we go. As he heads down now through turn 5, heading towards turn 6 Ferradura. Let's go on board with him. He was one of the faster drivers in the pre-lobby testing, so let's see what he can do as he goes through Ferradura. Now through turn 7. This is a very tricky corner. Very easy to lose lots of time through it. They seem to get it quite right now through Pinheirino. Excuse me if I get some... Excuse the pronunciation a little bit.
It is quite tricky, this. Right? That's turn 10, isn't it?
Yep, that would be Pico de Pato. Now we have turn 11. And the infamous Young Cow, turn 12. The famous Is That Glock corner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was just about to say that, you know.
He's going to get a bit of a draft from Cordell here, which will help his lap time. But he's doing pretty much a full tank of fuel almost. See what he does as he passes his teammate, comes across the line. Let's see what lap time he does. It's a 1:31 flat, fairly competent lap time, but there's definitely some to be gained. See what Ruby can do. He's currently purple, one of the best splits. Let's see what he can do. Does he abort this lap? Nope.
He's going for it.
Definitely going for it. It's going to be a good one. 29.5. So Ruby bringing it out. Let's see what Charles can do. His teammate. As the rest of ARC crosses the line with Charles, looks to be going third with the 1:21.3. Doesn't seem to be showing the times on the left-hand side of the screen, but it shows on the right-hand side. So let's see as everyone crosses the line with Ruby's currently pole position. Then we have Mashed Potato in second with 29.6. GRT Jack in third with 31 flat. Racer 249 with 31.3. Marmite in fifth with a 32.2. Charles with a 31. But I think it was because that wasn't a flying lap from him. He made a pit stop, changed tires, and now he's on a fresh set. So this is his flying lap now with the Thomas TT and Taven behind him. I was thinking a little bit of lap traffic there. Let's see what they can do on this flying lap. I believe it's only a 10-minute qualifying session, so we're almost halfway through.
Okay. I was just about to say, I've seen a lot of... Because we've seen a lot of this in qualifying, a lot of the drivers fuel burning, but it looks like they're not fuel burning at all here.
Yeah, Yeah, it looks to be like the fuel is going down quite fast on these DBR9s. Even with times 5 fuel wear, it's going down really quick. So we might see quite a few pit stops here. As Charles was purple in that split here. He's got a draft of Ruben in front of him. Let's see what he can do as we come up to the line. Passing the start. Ruben goes into the pit lane, start of the pit lane. Hugging the inside wall, breaking the side draft on the car, and it's a 29 flat for Charles.
Solid lap time there for Charles, but I think there's that one.
Taven, yes.
Taven's gone faster. Yeah,
Taven's gone a little bit faster. 29 flat. Thomas. So that group of 3 cars just went top of the leaderboard. Even Thomas TT up there in 3rd place. So Ark might have been sandbagging a little bit in the practice laps.
Quite possibly, but yeah. Talking about with the fuel issue, I mean, I know it's only going to be like what, a half an hour race, and I don't know how many pit stops they're going to do. Are they going to do maybe 2, 3, or what? I don't know. It could be like more.
Could be. It's only a 30-minute race, so
yeah.
this is roughly half a tank on these cars at 5 minutes. I could see maybe 1, maybe 2 stop if you want to chance it. Quite possible. But it looks like they're still going for another lap, so let's go on board with Thomas here as we round the second half of the lap here around Interlagos, following Charles. So he's going to get out of a draft here. Charles currently second, Thomas in 3rd. Let's see if they can improve as they cross the sector split. Not quite going to improve this lap. Will Charles improve? Doesn't look like he set the purple sector. Let's have a look throughout the rest of the field, see what everyone else is doing. Ruby still in 4th. Mashed Potato still currently the best placed GRT driver in 5th place currently overall. Mermaid in 6th. Maddie in 7th. Jack in 8th. Marmite in 9th. Racer in 10th. Gemini in 11th. And Cordell, who's actually yet to set a lap. He might be on for a flying one here. He's been top of the time charts before. Let's see what he can do. Comes up to the line. Only best for 6th.
Still decent effort though. Maybe he was one that was possibly fuel burning. But yeah, all the way up to 6th place. So nice effort from Cordell. But a bit of a surprise considering you said he was one of the fastest in when they were practicing.
That is very true, but the lap time he said was roughly on pace for the lap times he was doing in the practice lobby. So if anything, I honestly think it was Ark that was sandbagging, because I don't think there was anyone dropping below a 129.8 during the practice laps, and here's Ark doing with 29 flats. Honestly, I have to admit, a bit of a surprise seeing Taven at the top of the leaderboard. He's a quick driver, but we don't normally see him towards the front of the qualifying order.
No, not at all. He's just stopped on going into what's that turn 8. He's just letting some of the drivers go by. What do you think then about Taven? Because we've only seen him for like a couple of months, and he's becoming to be a bit of a figure now.
Yeah, it's good to see another driver from the North America represent North America very well in ARC. It's a bit of a spoiler for the next stream we're going to have later, because after this stream, after this team versus team event, we do have the car roulette stream we'll be hosting, where teams will be assigned their cars for upcoming Group 3 Season 4. Taven, if I'm not mistaken, I'm just going to pull it up here. If I look up the time trials here, let me make sure he might have actually not be racing in it. I was gonna say I think he would have qualified into Tier A, but I don't see him on the timing chart, so he might be more of an individual or reserve driver.
Yeah, he's a reserve driver. He said to me in the Discord chat, the reason why he's not participating in Season 4 is because his girlfriend is expecting.
Oh.
Yeah, so Taven's been busy.
Taven about to be a father, so congratulations to Taven.
We're going to see a baby Taven.
Well, let's have a look through as we're at 9 minutes left in this 10-minute qualifying session. Taven still top, Charles still second. Mashed Potato elevates himself into 3rd for GRT. Thomas TT in 4th, Ruben in 5th, Cordell in 6th, Mermaid 7th, Maddie 8th, Jack 9th, Marmite 10th, Racer 11th, and Gemini in 12th.
Looking at your screen, and it's as pixelated as it is, I think there's about 40 seconds to go until the end of qualifying.
Roughly that, yes. And you see a lot of drivers. There's a big pack of them here, currently led by Charles. Goes very wide through Young Cow.
Yep. But he will have another time. He will set another time in. He will do another lap, sorry.
See if he does drop the line, hurt him. going to be still a quick lap from him. He might improve. He does. But Thomas beats him on top.
Thomas, yeah, because he got in the slipstream. Surprisingly, Thomas went faster than T, but even though he went slightly wide from Juncker, as Mashed Potato picks up a 4/10 penalty. He will have to serve it here after turn 15, or before turn 15. Also, the penalty bounce is at turn 15, where he should be slowing down.
Get the qualifying over. I think he'd wanted to set the lap, but regardless, that 4:10 penalty wouldn't have helped his lap time. Regardless, as we're getting qualifying over now, looks like most of the drivers have already crossed the line. There's a few here. Let's see if we can find them. One is GRT Jack. The other is Gemini, who's currently on for a personal best so far. So let's see where he can go on the leaderboard. Currently in 12th overall, coming up across the top of the hill, turn 15, the last corner, coming up to the start-finish line. Let's see where he does. Goes up to 10th.
Nice lap there. That's a good idea what he just did there. Hug the inside lane, going on the start-finish line. Jack looks like he's slowing, so his qualifying is done.
That will be qualifying. Let's pull up the live timing here for everyone. That's our lobby leaderboard right now. Thomas TT on pole position with a 128.7. We have Charles in second with a 128.9. Taven in third with a 129 flat. Mashed Potato, the first of the GRT drivers, in fourth with a 129.1. Our Mermaid in fifth. Ruben in sixth. Cordell in seventh. Maddie in eighth. Marmite in ninth. Gemini in 10th. Racer in 11th. And Jack in 12th. And that is our grid for this upcoming race here at Interlagos.
So yeah, then ARC covers 1, 2, 3, and then you got Mashed Potato. I love that gamer tag, Mashed Potato. I love that. Even though I have to say I'm a boiled potato fan, but Mashed Potato, it's all right. But
it should be a pretty interesting race to see. I mean, we have Arc 1, 2, and 3 as we mentioned, but Mashed Potato in fourth could be a bit of a ringer. We never know. That was qualifying pace. We could see where the race pace goes. He might be really good at managing his tire and his fuel, which does seem to be burning quite quick here.
Yeah. I was about to say the tires look pretty decent. It's more a case of trying to save as much fuel as you can. Will they fuel save or not, or would they just go flat out and make maybe more pit stops than that? We won't know. It's just open in the air.
Be interesting to see, especially with it's only a 30-minute race, so it could be quite interesting. I do expect perhaps one stop for fuel, as we get a notification that the race will be starting in 4 minutes. So should be quite interesting. I know we're saying that a lot, but I think out of all the teams ARC has faced so far, I believe GRT is probably the team that would most likely bring any competition to ARC. That's not to undermine any of the other teams we faced in the past. They're all competent teams, so I'm not necessarily racing as competitive as ARC does. But GRT is probably not only the biggest team, but the most competitive so far. So then to see that, especially some of the new guys like Charles and Taven and Mermaid, up towards the top of the leaderboard, they're definitely doing a great job representing ARC so far. And what I believe is their very first TV team race.
I think I think it is. It's their first TvT. Yep.
So definitely should be quite fun to watch.
And also not mention the old school drivers like Thomas and Ruby. They've put their Astons up front too. I think Thomas is starting on the pole, isn't he? So the old school drivers are still here to stay.
And then this is actually a driver I can call back to the time trial result for right now as I have it, which is kind of interesting. Thomas TT on pole here in the time trial, but he only qualified 22nd overall for our season 4. That puts him in the middle of tier B.
It was just probably down to what car. If he didn't, obviously he's liking the Aston, as you can see at the stream. But I can't remember what car he was racing in for the team versus team. Was it the Dodge at Fuji? Was it? Was it Dodge
Viper? It was the Viper at Fuji and the FT1 at it was the FT1 at Lago.
Yes, that was it. So yeah, I mean, obviously they're 3 different animals, and it just seems to be Thomas is more suited to the Aston compared to the Dodge and the other car.
Quite possible, or he just favors Interlagos. This is the track where some drivers shine and some don't. I myself I just can't wrap my head around the best way around Interlagos. I have a hard time here, but you put me on Tokyo Expressway, and I'm up there with guys like PKMZ and Lemmy. Some tracks some drivers get and some drivers don't, but perhaps this is one of those tracks he does get. Even back to Season 3 at Nürburgring, he finished second on the Nordschleife. So he's got a lot of experience there, but on some tracks, like Tokyo Expressway, he was in the middle of Tier B. So that might just be a track thing for him.
I'm pretty sure he raced here at the finale race in Season 2, but I can't remember where he finished. And I'm pretty sure he did race in the final race of Season 2. And I can't. And again, like I says, I can't mind where he finished. If he finished high up or lower down, I genuinely can't mind. My brain's just gone dead. So he does have some experience around here.
It is, as we should be starting here momentarily, but let's get some predictions out of the way. What do you think is going to happen in this 30-minute race around Interlagos?
Well, to be sitting on the fence, I wouldn't count out Mashed Potato. We don't know what he's going to be like on the starts of that. Cordell, you said he was fastest in practice, but he was going to be starting 6th. They could be a threat to ARC. I think one thing that they should know is, I don't know. You throw me under the bus here because I never thought of anything like this. I would just expect, maybe to... Oh, I just had it in my head and it's completely gone. I do apologise. I would expect the ARC boys to get off to a good start, maybe protect their positions when it comes to pit stops. They'll all come in together. And we'll just see from there. But I would say their main threat would possibly be, from GRT's point of view, I would say Mashed Potato and Cordell, see what they're doing. And I think if they're quite far back, then ARC should be okay.
Interesting idea. I'm going to take a different approach here and say that we have someone like Taven and Charles at the front of this grid, and what is a different situation? This isn't driver versus driver. This is team versus team, and many of the drivers who have raced in team versus team events say that the pressure is on way more because you're representing your entire community and team rather than just yourself as a driver. So it's going to be interesting for me to see whether or not Taven or Charles possibly crack a little bit under the pressure, whether they might make a few more mistakes than what we normally see. So it's going to be quite interesting, I think, in that sense, to see what they can do. Thomas has been here before. I think he's fine, but I think Taven and Charles might falter a little bit under the pressure as the race is starting here in just a few seconds. We're going to cut to the race feed now.
I was about to say, what about Ruby as well with the tyre situation? We know what he's like with tyres.
That we do. Well, all stories will be told here in this 30-minute race on Interlagos. As we mentioned, Thomas TT on pole, Charles 2nd, Taven 3rd, Mashed Potato 4th, Mermaid 5th, Ruby 6th, Cordell 7th, Maddie 8th, Marmite 9th, Gemini 10th, Racer 11th, and GRT Jack in 12th. GRT versus ARC at Interlagos, on board with Thomas TT going into turn 1 here. As the lights are on, they're about to go out. And underway we go. Looks like Ruby gets an excellent start.
Damn.
Let's see what Ruby can do on board with him, but actually gets caught out here. Actually on board with Mermaid here, going into turn 1. Mashed Potato, bit of a bump there. So I'm going to see if I can get that driver in there. Ruby up into the lead for starting 5th. So a lot of contact going in here and around in midfield. Mermaid getting bumped from side to side. Mashed Potato had a bit of a rear ender going into the back of Charles TT into turn 1. Possibly missed his braking zone, but Ruby will lead, starting from 5th on the grid.
That is just the perfect start there. I wouldn't expect Ruby to be coming out in front as the leader, but yeah, you get on board. Oh, well, you just got the replay a bit too late. But yeah, it looked like Thomas and Charles ran a little bit wide through the center S's, and it just allowed to stick Ruben's Aston to go up into the lead. I mean, what an amazing start that is from Ruby.
That it is, as Charles TT holds on to his 2nd place. Thomas TT in 3rd. There's a bit of a gap to some of the 3 of the GRT boys. Mashed Potato currently in 4th. Behind him is Cordell and Gemini. So Gemini, great start, already up into 6th place. From starting, I believe it was 10th, if I'm not mistaken. But he's about to possibly lose position here to Mermaid around the outside of turn 11. But no, I think he holds on to it. Mermaid actually will take up that 7th place as he tries to find a way to buy Maddie.
And you talk about the pressure about the Taven's being Taven's first thing. Look where he is. I think he's down to about like 10th or 11th.
Yeah, I think, yes, Taven is dropped way back down the field, but I think one thing we have to account for is everyone starting this race on soft. Let's have a quick look through. It does look like everyone has started this race on the soft tire. So yeah, Taven has significantly fallen down the field. I didn't quite see if that was due to an incident somewhere or just him making mistakes.
Charles has taken the lead. He passed Ruben at the center S's. Now, what they need to do is they need to work together. Don't be side by side because they're going to allow the other drivers to catch up. And we know how fast Mashed Potato and Cordell are. So them three up front, Charles, Thomas, and Ruben need to work together because these two are coming. And like I said, they are the main threat, I'd say, for GRT.
And they are even behind them in 6th place currently is Gemini, but behind him is Mermaid. So a lot of inter-team battles going on at the front of the field, but that's from 6 on back is where we start to mix it up a little bit. So let's see what Gemini can do as Mermaid is all over the back of him. Let's see if he can find a way by. Heading down from turn 10, Pico to Pato now. Mermaid having a little bit of a look to the inside, but can't quite find a way by.
I don't know if there was a bump there through turn 10.
There was just a little bit of one. Now through turn 11, heading towards Young Cow, looking further up the field. Looks like Mashed Potato and Cordell are quickly closing on the back of Ruby for that 3rd place, and Gemini has a bit of breathing room behind it. The field, Charles still leads ahead of Thomas, Ruben, Mashed Potato, and Cordell. Bit of a gap to 6th place of Gemini, Mermaid in 7th, Maddie 8th. Taven in 9th, making his way up by Marmite. Did he just manage to get by? Yep, he managed to defend off from Jack as well.
They'll be side by side through turn 2, maybe? No.
Managed to hold it off.
So yeah, up to 9th.
See if I can get a replay on that, because that looked to be a solid pass going up in here. So we're already in 9th, and he's just defending his position. But look at Jack come from all the way back, though. He tried to go up the inside, but great job to Taven to hold that line.
What was the center quote? If you go for a gap, if you no longer go for a gap, you're no longer a race driver. That's what Jack had in his mind there. But yeah, fair play though to Jack. He backed off the throttle, so good gentlemanly driving from Jack there.
So Taven on a bit of a comeback drive now, back at the front of the field. Looks like Mashed Potatoes all over the back of Ruby here.
I think Mashed Potato's got his Aston suited around here. It's just a case of how Ruben can defend from a hard charging Mashed Potato and Cordell. Do you think Ruby will be saving fuel?
It's quite possible. I wouldn't be surprised. A lot of the drivers from ARC at the front of the field due to racing a lot of the season 4, they're used to, it's almost muscle memory at this point, just to short shift the car and save fuel. And that's a bit of a thing we've seen before in a lot of team versus teams. A lot of the other drivers from these other teams that come in, they're not used to saving a lot of the fuel that we have. It looks like Mashed Potato is going to power his way all the way around by Ruby. He's not going to fight him. Or maybe he will as he misses the braking zone.
Once wide for turn 1 of the center S's. So Ruby holds on to 3rd place, but you know, that's a warning sign.
But as I was saying, it's just a lot of the teams that race against ARC, they're not quite used to saving fuel or watching their tire wear. So it quite possibly they could have the pace right now because they're revving the snot out of these engines, but they might have to make a 2-stop for fuel.
Look at the gatekeeper though, up into 6th place. We did see him a couple of laps ago in 8th. He's up to 6th.
That he is, and actually
he's pulling away from Mermaid.
Yeah, he is pulling away from Mermaid. Taven's up in the 8th, and Gemini has dropped all the way back in the 9th place now. So something's happened to Gemini to lose 3 spots in that battle for 6th place.
Now Taven's making his recovery, and he's doing so far a good job up to 8th place. Will Mermaid let Taven go back? Do you think? Possibly, maybe, because it looks like Taven looks a bit quicker than Mermaid to me.
We're going to have to see. Let's go on board with Taven for a bit and see what maybe a bit of team orders come underway. 24 minutes remaining around here at Interlagos. Ruby still holding on to that 3rd place. On board with Taven, currently in 8th place. Between in front of him, Mermaid, behind him, Gemini.
So from the first lap, he qualified 2nd, fell all the way down to 11th, up to 8th. So again, making that recovery. Looks like he's just in the slipstream of Mermaid, but not going to get by him. I tell you what, we ain't seen a lot of Maddie over these last couple of months, and to see him back and doing quite well here, isn't he? He's also been like a stalwart for the ARC team versus team, hasn't he?
That he has. He's definitely had his history. He's picked up the name the gatekeeper for always being the driver that usually holds off the hard charging team behind him. But here he's got a couple of ARC drivers behind him. So perhaps maybe trying to break the namesake a bit.
Yeah, going quite solid there. So Matty, fresh off his break and looking quite good so far.
Back at the front, still stationary within the top 5. Maddie in a distant 6th place. Mermaid 7th. Taven 8th. Gemini 9th. Jack 10th. Racer 11th. And Marmite in 12th. Charles still with a second gap over Thomas. Thomas 1.3 over Ruby.
Looks like Mashed Potato have fallen way back from Ruby. Look at that. Is that 2.4 seconds to me?
Roughly 2.4,
Yeah, so
2.5, yeah.
Unless if Mashed Potato's made a mistake somewhere in this lap, and yeah, you can see the gap has really distanced itself, and it's growing.
It does seem to be, but they do have a bit of a gap behind them to Maddie in 6th place. Actually, they seem to be fighting each other. Maybe perhaps Cordell trying to find a way by Mashed Potato feels he's faster.
Well, he sort of cuts them off. I mean, don't forget, this is what happened to the DRE boys at Fuji. I mean, don't copy what they did. But I mean, it's obviously if they feel they want to race, if it's within their guidelines, then let them race. I mean, it's not going to help you, but it's going to allow ARC drivers, Ruby, Thomas, and Charles to pull away from you if you keep battling.
What's going to be interesting to me is if they keep battling, whether the gap between Cordell and Maddie will continue to drop. Currently, it's 3.4, 3.5 seconds, but Maddie has two other ARC drivers behind him, and then a big gap to the rest of the GRT drivers behind them.
More than anything, do you think Matty and that lot are closing to Cordell and Mash? Looks like it is. Oh, Matty one's a bit wide. Through, what's that corner again? Turn 7?
So I think it was turn 8. This is now turn 9 and now turn 10.
Right. So,
if anything, I would say the gap is probably stationary, if not growing. It's still 3.4 seconds between Maddie and Cordell. Whether or not Maddie is the best driver to chase down Cordell in this group of the 3 ARC cars, I don't know. Whether or not Mermaid or Taven would be better to try and chase them down, we have yet to see. But still currently remains stationary. But let's have a look at some of the GRT boys back from 9th place on.
Oh, Matty's going into pits while you're just looking at him.
Yeah, he is going to the pits. Currently 42% fuel. So you see just how much fuel is being worn in these cars.
So 42% of fuel, he's used 58% in nearly 10 minutes in as Gemini gets it sideways through the ZNS.
So Maddie comes out back behind the rest of the field, builds up to 75% fuel. That should be good enough to go to the end if he gets a little bit of fuel saving, a little bit of short shifting. Charles currently with a fast lap of a 129.5, still leading by 1.1 seconds over Thomas TT.
So it just seems orderly fashion now that Mermaid has freed himself since Matty's made the pit stop. And Taven too.
Ruby still 3.1 seconds ahead of Mashed Potato and Cordell in 4th and 5th. And actually now Mermaid is in 6th due to Maddie making his pit stop. So let's see if this gap will start to come down. Perhaps Mermaid might have a better opportunity to chase down Cordell here.
What do you think? Will Mermaid complete the team row and let Taven by? Because I still think Taven looks quite fast over the pair of them.
Mermaid has already closed roughly 3/10 within the last few corners. So Mermaid's definitely closing up to the back of Cordell here.
Also note to count as well with the tyre issues. GRT struggling. Cordell and Mashed Potato. I've got food in the mind. They'll be struggling with the tyres compared to ARC. As you can see, Cordell just made a pass on Mashed Potato.
Yeah, but it looks
Someone just came into the pit lane. Someone was coming from the pits from GRT.
Let's have a look at the fuel tire where currently it's Charles at the front, just under 50% fuel. His tire's not looking too bad. There's Thomas, there's Ruby. And then we have TRD, Mashed Potato and Cordell still fighting for position between the two of them. They can't seem to figure out who they want to lead this pack, and they're using way more fuel than the rest of the drivers in front of them.
Yeah, it's not really helping them. Again, it's going to allow ARC the victory for this first race. Is the second race reverse grid?
I'll have one quick look here. Let's see. Race 2. Grid start with false start check. It doesn't seem to say reverse grid.
Okay.
I believe
okay,
it's qualify. I believe there might be qualifying. It says there's quality. I'm not quite sure.
Alright, okay, no worries. Anyway, so with Cordell and Mashed Potato battling against each other, it's allowing Mermaid and Taven to catch up to the back of these two.
That it is. As I was just showing on screen there, Mashed Potato and Cordell have used roughly, I want to say, 10 to 15% more fuel than the rest of the ARC drivers on track. And the gap between Mashed Potato and Mermaid is dropping rapidly. It's now 2.4 seconds.
Yeah, I think it was, what was it, like a lap ago, it was about 3.1. So yeah, Mermaid looks like Mermaid and Taven are the faster than Cordell and Mashed Potato. Although it's saying that they were battling side by side through like a third of of that lap.
Yeah, let's go on board with them. 17.5 minutes left to go here.
Coming into turn 4 and 5. I forgot what the corner was because I didn't have it on my screen. That's the one. This is turn 5, and then Ferra, what is it again? Ferradura? Ferradura. There you are.
Lagagina in turn 7. In turn 8, the turn with no name. In turn 9.
This is turn 8, isn't it? Now this is turn 9, isn't it?
No,
yeah, something like that.
This is now turn 10, Bico de Pato.
Another good place to overtake someone. Looks like Mermaid, Mr. Apex return 10.
Turn 11, Mercudo. And turn 12, Yunkao. 1.8 seconds now. The gap of roughly just a little over 15 minutes remaining. We might see Mermaid go for an undercut here.
He is within drafting distance of Mashed Potato.
Looks like one of the drivers, looks like Mashed Potato making
I think
the
Mashed
stop.
Potato's going in. Yep.
So Mashed Potato going for the undercut, trying to cut off the pit stop from Mermaid and Taven.
Now he's going to have to be fuel saving. If he could do one stop, you have to fuel save at least.
So quite a bit of fuel going in that car. Is going to make a longer pit stop. So the undercut might not work for him here.
He might actually come out behind Matty, just a case of what happens Matty's been doing in these last few laps.
So another set of stops going on the car and a full fuel tank.
Yeah, he's been fuel. In fact, he probably might go the rest of the way if he doesn't get fuel save. But I think, to me, Matty's gone ahead, hasn't he? Yeah, he has.
Matty has gone ahead by roughly 9 seconds. But Matty's good to go for pretty much the rest of the race. He's just under half fuel. So he will have to do a bit more fuel saving if he wants to make it to the end. And that gap will close because Mashed Potato will actually push for the rest of this race. He full fueled and put a new set of softs. So he's not doing any fuel saving for this race, but Matty will be. So Matty might lose that position, but we're going to see maybe perhaps the gatekeeper namesake come into play.
Yeah, he's going to have to save a lot of fuel if he's going to go the rest of the way. Is he getting sideways? So hold on to him, Matty. There you go.
Back in the front, Charles. Rest of the car.
The leader's off. Oh, I just noticed Thomas was lead. Oh no, sorry, Charles Stephen Thomas was out because of the pit lane head. I thought we had a lead change there.
And then you can see on the left-hand side of the screen the difference in fuel between the GRT drivers and ARC. Well, the ARC drivers, with the exception of Taven, who did a great job saving a lot of fuel, 22% in that car, versus Cordell with his 1%. The rest of ARC roughly 10%.
I think Cordell's going to lose out to Mermaid and Taven by necessity. Looking at those fuel, he might lose 2 spots here.
He might. And I want to see where Matty's actually going to come out here if they're looking. So Matty actually comes out. Where's Matty going to come out in all of this? He comes out second.
But he'll have to pit, though. He'll definitely have to pit. I think he's got less than 50% of fuel in this car. He's definitely going to have to pit again.
Yeah, I think he will. I think he pitted just a little bit too early for the undercut.
But as you can see there on the screen, Cordell's gone out in 8th. And like I said, Taven and Mermaid have gone out ahead.
And here's Mashed Potato in 5th, but Taven He's gonna have the fresh set of tires. I don't know if Potato pitted. Yes, he has. So
Yeah, he
Taven,
pitted the lap before.
This is a race for position here for 5th place. See who will come out on top and behind them. We have Mermaid fighting with Cordell. I think Mermaid pitted later, so Mermaid should have the advantage in this situation.
Mermaid pitted in on this lap. Along with Cordell, but Cordell came out in 8th because he had to put more fuel in than what Mermaid and Taven did.
So let's see what Taven can do. Can he find a way by Mashed Potato?
See you going on board. He'll probably stick in the slipstream. He'll probably play a bit here with Mashed Potato.
It sounds like he's still short shifting that DBR9.
I don't think he should be short shifting. He's good to go the rest of the way here. He shouldn't be doing that, really.
I have to agree with you, but as I mentioned, it's almost muscle memory for a lot of these drivers to feel safe at this point. With all the practice races and everything they've done for the GR3 seasons, it's muscle memory at this point for a lot of these drivers.
Cordell's gone by Mermaid for 7th place. I'm looking on the screen on the left side there. Cordell seems to be quite fast on the opening few laps, like in the opening laps when he comes around the pit lane. But I don't know, does he seem to fade away like he did, like in that first stint? Looked like he did to me.
Well, we will find out. Mermaid did pit later, so he's got the better tires and more fuel in his car than what Cordell has. And as far as I know, Cordell isn't fuel saving here.
I'm going to keep a check out on Matty here, see if Thomas and that lot are behind Matty. As Mermaid looks possibly to the inside. Now then, what do you do here, Matty? Oh, no, back to the battle for 7th. Battles everywhere you look.
There is. So Matty's still in 2nd. I wouldn't be surprised if he moves out of the way of Thomas here. Lets the faster driver go by. He knows he has to feel safe, but Thomas really doesn't. Yep, not going to fight him. Thomas going to go right on by. No problem there.
Plays the team advantage, and that's how you should work. You shouldn't be battling against one another. Let the faster guys go through. Work as a team.
And back behind them, we have a big gap to what is the rest of the GRT drivers of Jack, Gemini, Racer, and Martin.
Do you remember, think back, wasn't it not the first ever team versus team that ARC did? It was against what was it? Oh, who was it against? We had the likes of Ronald racing here and Obama. I'm pretty sure Ruby was in it as well as Matty. And I think this was the first race. I think it was like a 1-2 or something for ARC when it was Ronald and Obama leading the way.
Quite possibly, yeah. It's been
Yeah,
so long
that's-
since then. It's been almost a year.
That's been over a year, I think it was. Must have been over a year ago. Anyway, Taven looking all over the back of Mashed Potato for 5th place. This will be a great positive start for the ARC, having their cars 1, 2, 3, and 4. And Mashed Potato looks a very worried driver to me because Taven is wanting that 5th place.
Yeah, he is the man who qualified. I believe it was 3rd place overall. Now back in 6th, and wants to take that 5th place away from Mashed Potato in front of him. 10 minutes remaining on the clock here at Interlagos.
And again, another good recovery drive from Taven. Like I said before, qualified 2nd, I think it was. So all the way back to 11th. He's still trying to get 5th place as Matty comes in, as scheduled. So looks like he's going to be the only one that's going to make 2 pit stops out of this.
Looks to be that way, but if you're going in that car, let's see where he slots out.
Shouldn't go all the way to the top anyways, at least.
Most of it, but 10 minutes roughly. I can see that being 10 minutes of fuel without fuel saving.
So he comes out, what, it looks like to me in last place to me.
Now he's going to come a little bit in front of that, I believe around 8th, 9th.
Right, quite possibly, yeah. He will have... Yeah, and he will have the fresher tyres. So what's the gap between himself to Cordell? Is that 9.2 seconds?
Yep.
So, could be, don't know.
It's very possible. Back at the front here, Mermaid's actually got back in front of Cordell.
Gives him a little love tap.
A little bit of a touch there, but nothing major. Rubbin is racing. Let's see if Mermaid can actually close up to Taven, and perhaps maybe Taven will let Mermaid have a chance of getting by Mashed Potato.
well, that's a risk of Taven doing that because he might lose 2 spots as a result for Cardell being all over the back of Mermaid. But we'll see. 8 minutes to go. It's all looking rosy so far for ARC. 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6.
See if Cordell tries to find a way by Mermaid here. He's in the slipstream. Mermaid goes defensive to the inside, but you can make a pass around the outside work. They're side by side.
Oh, sort of leans up on Cordell. Oh, little contact. He's got the inside for turn 2. Bit more contact.
Rubbin is racing between these two, and Cordell has the advantage. But Mermaid's going to look to try and have the inside as they head into turn 4.
He's going to fake the pass as he looks like he is. Cordell's giving him a bit of respect there.
Gave him a little bit too much room. Cordell carried too much speed, went wide, had to check up on the throttle. Mermaid back through. Good racing between these two.
Yeah, good, hard, firm, but it's most importantly clean racing. I think Cordell hit the Astro in the middle of turn 4 and 5, and that would, upset the car a little bit, hitting the Astro.
I think so.
The Astro? Sorry, the Aston. Sorry, why did I think of Astro?
Because he was on the Astro turret.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
Back in front, Taven still looking real racy behind Mashed Potato, getting a better run through here. This could be a repeat of Glock in Hamilton, not quite through Newcastle.
Yeah, Mashed Potato looks like he's defending that 4th place very well. If I was Taven, I would just go for it right now. Don't save fuel, just go for it. He's looking hungry though, look at him, in the slipstream. The start finish line. Where can he make the pass?
Potato goes to the inside to cover off, but Taven's got the straight line speed, looks to have the advantage. Try to make the outside work in the Senna S. Mashed Potato goes inside to cover off.
Let's go for the crisscross. No.
Get it done. And looking back behind Cordell, back now in front of Mermaid, but Mermaid once again going to try and have the inside, but Cordell covers it off, puts his car in the middle of the track, forces Mermaid to pick a side. Mermaid says, I'll take the normal racing line. Hopefully, I think he's going to expect Cordell to outbrake himself, but he won't this time, and Cordell does a great job to hold position.
Parked the car and on the racing line, couldn't let Mermaid go by, but Mermaid is still looking hungry to get that 6th place back.
Ooh,
it's been good stuff here. Oh, yeah, they're very close there. I don't know if that was a bit of contact between the two of them, but Mermaid goes to the inside at turn 10.
Tries to sneak up the inside. Looks like he might get it done here, but Cordell now has the inside through here.
Whoa, they are certainly going really aggressive at each other, aren't they?
As they are, but now Mermaid is in the prime position to take back the position from Cordell here on the start-finish straight.
My oh my, these two having a right ding-dong with less than 5 minutes to go. It goes Mermaid to the outside. I thought he was going to cross to the inside. Yeah,
tried
he
to
was
set
going to
up the dummy.
Oh, Cordell trying to find every trick in the book to try and hold position there. This is great racing between these two.
It is. 5 minutes left to go here. Cordell goes to the inside to stay defensive. Mermaid tries to draft him, a little bit of a touch there. Another bit of a touch. Mermaid not letting him. He's letting him know he's still there. He still wants to race. Great racing between these two.
It's a good job they're not teammates, otherwise that would have been a Leclerc-Vettel moment from 2019.
Ooh, Mermaid up the inside!
Through turn 7. That's a brave pass there. Superb from Mermaid and made it stop there. What a pass. Did Cordell make a mistake, or did he just try and go for that gap?
Mermaid set the dummy to the outside. Bit of a tap, I think, from Mermaid, and he just goes up the inside. That's an old school karting move. That Mermaid has a lot of experience racing go-karts, and that's an old school move. You just tap the rid of a bumper, knock some wide through the apex, and you sneak it up the inside.
Yeah, that is a typical maneuver. I had that many a time when I was playing Race Driver Quid. It's no fun. But anyway, Mermaid, great pass up to 6th place. Now it's a case of if Taven can get by Mashed Potato.
That it is. 3, just a little over 3 minutes left to go, and Taven still holding on to that 5th place, but still wants to find a way by.
Tell you what, with all that battling with Mermaid and Cordell, I wonder what the gap is between Cordell to Matty. It was about 9.2 when Matty came out the pit lane. What is it now?
About 7 seconds.
About 7 seconds. So, well, still, nice 7-0 for Matty to be in there. Oh, here comes Taven in turn 4. Look at the run he's gotten in the middle of turn 4.
Still wants to try and find a way by, but Mashed Potato is making that Aston Martin as wide as he can.
It just seems to me Mashed Potato, as the longer the stint goes, he sort of struggles.
Oh, he goes wide!
Same with Cordell. He does, there it goes!
He misses the braking zone, his tires have fallen off a little bit too much, but Taven couldn't quite capitalize the way he wanted to.
It's about for 4th place, he could have made the inside there.
Mashed Potato goes wide, holding off to the inside, and there he goes through. Mashed Potato misses the braking zone, and Taven up into 4th place.
Just what I was saying, but he's got to hold that 4th place when they go past Shun Cow and then on the start-finish straight. Have a look at the replay again. As you see, Mashed Potato gets it all wrong, goes in the middle of the corner, compromising through turn 10, and there goes Taven up to 4th place. Now, in case, can he hold that 4th place going on the start-finish line?
Just a little under 2.5 minutes remaining. They should get one more lap after this one. Mashed Potato going to look to the outside. He can make it work around the outside of the Cent S as it has been done before, but Taven holds the inside. Could take the line away from Mashed Potato, and he holds on to 4th.
I was just about to say, when you saw Mashed Potato doing that mistake, it just seems to me that both Cordell and Mashed Potato, they are fast in the opening stint, but when it goes on, they really struggle. They struggle for the tyres. I don't know if it's a case that they are wheel users or controller users, but it just seems to me, although Taven made a mistake, he hit the Astro turn 3 in the middle of turn 4, and Tatty goes by.
He gets a penalty.
He's got a penalty. He must have, did he run really wide through in the middle of turn 4 and 5?
He must have, yeah, he did. He went all the way off the curve, track extended.
No 4 tyres, yeah. So he's got to serve that to start-finish line.
But Mermaid's right there.
Yeah, Mermaid's there.
Ooh, Taven's still trying to go for it, though. Taven!
Oh my days, that's another pass through turn 10. He did it again. But no, he's gonna have to serve the penalty before turn 15.
Yeah, he will. He's gonna hit the penalty burn zone. Starts at turn 15 and ends just across the start-finish line. So he will have to serve it. It was a track extended penalty, not a contact penalty. So coming up here, he'll have to serve it. He'll move offline.
He might lose 2 places though, which he is doing right now. He's serving the penalty.
Yep, he might lose 2 positions, but Mermaid's there now too. Mermaid is closed right up, so Mermaid's through. But can Mermaid find a way through? This will be the final lap.
Nearly 30 seconds to go, Charles. Absolutely, what a story this has been for Charles. His first team versus team. He's going to get the win here. Thomas a solid second, and then Pablo Picasso, Ruby in third. But it's anyone's guess for 4th place. As you see, Mashed Potato to go and defend him from a hard-charging Mermaid.
Mermaid's all over him. You see Mashed Potato
he's going to the inside. It's top 5.
He can make it work. He's got the lead, but Mashed Potato will have the inside for the next corner. Can he fight him? He can't. Mermaid's through into 4th.
Unbelievable. He's come right through the middle of turn 6 and 7, but he's got the line and he's got it. Now then, can Taven get by for the top 5 for ARC?
Mashed Potato trying to cover up the mistakes he's made in the previous laps. Taven knows where he's weak. He's going to have to strike here in this corner. He's all over the back of him. He's weak over the exit of the corner. He's weak at the exit of the corner. He has to go wide to hold his line. Can Taven get through, or is his tire wear better? He's through.
That is a 3rd lap in a row. Taven has passed Mashed Potato at turn 10, but Charles is going to come across the start-finish line here, Lato.
That he is, and he wins in this team versus team event. Thomas TT comes home 2nd place. Ruby in 3rd. Mermaid with a last lap pass to take 4th place. And then Taven back in 5th. It's ARC in the top 5 here at Interlagos.
And don't forget Maddie in a strong 8th place finish too. So absolutely superb effort from ARC.
Actually, no, he's 7th.
Oh, 7th? What happened?
Did Mashed Potato run out of fuel? He's out of fuel!
Mashed Potato's out! Mashed Potato's out! He's done it, Dance and Ruby!
He's out of fuel, and he might lose another position here, but that puts Maddie in the 7th, and that means the best placed GRT driver is Cordell in 6th place.
Unbelievable. Just when you thought it was all getting a nightmare for GRT, I think Jack also might have run out of fuel and all.
I think he did too. I see the hazard lights on. So Jack comes across the line 9th, Gemini in 10th, Racer in 11th, and then Marmite will be the last one to cross the line in 12th. So there's your finishing order for race 1 here of the ARC versus GRT race. And your winner for round 1 will be Charles TT. And Charles has been on a roll these last few races, I have to admit.
Yeah, I think that win at Laguna Seca has done him the world of good, because he looks like he's driving absolutely faultless in these races now.
There you have it. Charles, your winner. Thomas in 2nd, Ruby 3rd, Mermaid 4th, and Taven in 5th. That means top 5 for ARC. Then the first place GRT drivers Cordell in 6th, Matty in 7th, Mashed Potato in 8th after he ran out of fuel, and his teammate Jack in 9th also ran out of fuel at the line. Gemini in 10th, Racer 11th, and then Marmite in 12th. And we have one more race to go here, Savloy.
Indeed, we do. And you can see there, top 5 for ARC firmly in the driving seat for the second race at Fuji, the short track, which is only 14 corners long. But yeah, ARC firmly in the driving seat to win this team versus team battle, and their undefeated streak could still possibly live on. But we don't know what the GRT driver is going to be like around Fuji, so that's 50% done for ARC to win this.
Definitely going to be an interesting one. Well, while we've set everything up, we're going to give our voices a bit of a break, because we do have another live stream happening after this one, and it is our Season 4 Car Roulette. So if you want to know what your team is, if you happen to be a driver, what car your team is using for the season, that will be a separate stream, therefore you will need a separate link, but that will be coming up after this. So don't go anywhere after this second race, which is coming up next, but there will be another stream. So it's a bit weird, but bear with us. But we're going to take a bit of a break here to save our voices for that one. So don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. now back for our second race. As we mentioned, is the Group 4 Honda NSXs here at Fuji. Another 10-minute qualifying with a 30-minute race afterwards here. Oh, we're just resetting the lobby. Had a bit of a pit glitch there, so excuse us. Hope we can get this sorted very quickly as we set the tire wear back to normal.
Hopefully we can get everyone out there.
Driver's roommate just fine. Got the rest of it. Oh, no, one driver roommate is stuck.
He's having fun in the pit lane. That's lovely to see.
He's going to have to leave and rejoin, so it's going to hurt his qualifying, but everyone else seems to be just fine on the way here. So let's see what we can do, and we do have the unofficial points after the first round. So unofficially, this is just the numbers that we've crunched in the intermediate time here. We have ARC with 86 points and GRT with 15 points. Again, it is the Formula 1 point system, and that is our points that we've just crunched numbers. It could be mistaken, we don't have any penalties yet, so unofficially the points, but currently ARC is leading by a fairly large margin. This should be the exact same settings we ran with the DBR9, except it happens to be in the Group 4 NSX. Same ×5 tire wear, ×5 fuel wear. So we have Maddie and Taven on starting their outlap right now. And what do you think is going to happen here at Fuji, especially as we run at the corner we're at right now is the short configuration of Fuji, where instead of cutting in and making the little chicane that you have at Dunlop, it's just a straight cut through. It's just a single right-hander that's pretty fast, and it leads directly into turn 13.
Yeah, very easy corner to one ride and pick up a penalty. Through turn 10, the fast, sharp right-hander. But what we expect to see, hopefully some great racing. What we saw in the first race, I mean, that was a great entertainment, especially from Mermaid and Cordell. Even though there was a little bit of aggressiveness towards the end of that battle, but other than that, I'd like to see more of the same, please.
Let's see what Maddie can do as he crosses the line first. Now, the draft is going to be super important here at Fuji. We've seen that before. So Maddie and Taven are going to look to be a little bit of teamwork here. Looking at Phil Charles seems to be by himself. We've got Ruby not far behind him. And behind them looks like Thomas TT's hoping to try and join them. And it looks like the GRT boys are all going for kind of what ARC did in qualifying last time. It pit very early for a new set of softs, then go out fairly early.
Doing a reverse strategy from what ARC did. Obviously, looking at these Hondas, and even though it's the GR4 cars, obviously we've had a bit of history driving these Hondas in the GR3 since you won that race at Spa, a 3-hour race.
Yeah, but I don't have a lot of experience with the Group 4 car, admittedly. But I have to admit, the Honda itself is a fairly well-balanced car. It can kick the rear out, at least from what I've experienced a little bit, if you give it a little bit too much throttle in the AstroTurf. I can't speak too much for the Group 4 cars. I still believe the Group 4 cars four-wheel drive, if I'm not mistaken. It's not rear-wheel drive like the Group 3 car. But
oh, look at it. Sorry to interrupt you. See, look at all the GRT drivers. They're all fuel-saving. They're fuel-burning, sorry.
They're all fuel-burning. They're all in a group and drafting. They're definitely going to try and bring it the battle this time. And I think Group 4 is what they normally race. From what I've seen on their YouTube channel, they run what we do, except it's a Group 4 championship. So I think this is their wheelhouse for this race.
I think with the GR4 cars, you don't really need to put traction control on these cars at all, don't you?
Especially not when they four-wheel drive them, because that's sexy too.
No, at all. I mean, I remember doing my first rookie race driving the GR4 Aston, and that was a blast. No traction control. Such a good car. Such a fun car, these GR4 cars. Such fun little class cars, these.
Well, currently Ruben, Thomas, Taven, and Charles are up the top of the leaderboard. This is only the first lap. I do expect those positions to stay stationary. Maddie also is doing an outlap because he hit for a set of softs. So it's going to be interesting to see what the GRT boys can come across the line and do. They're on an outlap as we saw them pit just a lap earlier. What's interesting to me is they're all in a group. They're all drafting and they're all fuel burning throughout most of the lap. And now they're coming up to start the lap here, and they're revving the cars now. So they are going to give it this time. But it's going to be interesting to see what they can actually do, because that is roughly 5-6 cars all in a draft.
and this is when slipstream is everything, especially on the start finish line, which is nearly a mile long. So that's really going to help your lap time if you're going to be stuck behind another car in the slipstream. No sign of Mermaid yet, could be coming back, so hopefully he'll be back. He's got about nearly 5 minutes to go.
I don't think he's going to come back and set a lap. I think he's just going to have to start at the back of the race.
Oh, okay then. But I haven't seen his name come back, has he?
I think he's waiting till qualifying is over and then he's going to come back. At least I think that's standard procedure.
Oh, because yes, because I think we had a team versus team moment when one of them backed out and joined in, and then it caused a bit of problems. If it was like skipping or lagging or whatever, something like that, something to do with that. But yeah, Mermaid. Unfortunate though for Mermaid, he's going to start dead last.
I think we've also had a driver replacement in the middle of it.
Yeah, dive bomb. Yeah.
See, I think they've replaced Gemini here. No, Mermaid's there. Mermaid's in the back. I just saw him.
Oh,
Was that?
okay.
Was that? That's what I just saw. Mermaid. Yeah, he's right there in 5th, behind the GRT boys.
Well, that was quick. He's like Magic Man.
Didn't quite see him
Yeah,
going
so-
back, but here he is.
Yes. Yeah, you were saying that dive bomb. They have had a driver change. Okay.
Not quite sure what it is, but it seems that they've replaced Gemini. I don't know. Maybe they felt Gemini didn't perform to their expectations that last race. Not quite sure.
And unless he's got something else planned that he can only do the one race and or that. But oh well. Anyways, welcome dive bomb.
And one thing we should notice, and I just remembered it now, and one thing I should have mentioned before in the last race, is that all the liveries on all of ARC's cars today, so if I can get one here, well, the numbers beside their names and their flags are their actual race numbers, what they have in ARC. All the numbers on their actual car, you see the number plate on the side is the number 10, and that's in respect to Renault Thomas, who had to hopefully at least temporarily take a leave of absence from ARC to deal with some personal issues. So a bit of a remembrance thing here from ARC, and wishing him all the best.
We miss you, Ronald. Hopefully you come back very soon.
Currently, we have just under 7 minutes to go now. Currently, Charles still leading the way with a 140.2. Mashed Potato in 2nd, Ruben in 3rd, Thomas in 4th, Taven in 5th, Cordell in 6th, Mermaid in 7th, Jack 8th, Dive Bomb in 9th, Racer in 10th, and Marmite in 11th with Maddie in 12th, but that's because he didn't get to set a lap. He's sitting 1 now.
Goes 8th. Pretty solid lap time considering he's got no one in front of him or no one to help with.
That's very true. And looking at the rest of these GRT boys, even with the draft that they did have for a bit, it doesn't seem like it helped too many of them. Mashed Potato's in 2nd, so it helped him. But Cordell's in 6th, and then back behind them, Jack in 8th, and Dive Bomb in 9th. Even with that 5-car train draft, it's not quite the results on the timing board you'd expect.
Yeah. Just not expecting. Again, it's still the side by side. I mean, obviously, obviously being close up is all right, but you're not going to be any faster if you right into the slipstream.
Well, this isn't going to be a good lap for Jack, but they might improve on this lap. This is the 3-car draft right in front of him. But that means that the back driver's going to have to abort you. He has to pull out and misses. That's not how you're going to improve a time. It's Dive Bomb. Ooh! Ooh, Dive Bomb. Careful.
That's a nice save, actually, going through Daichi. That's it, yep.
I have to admit,
Trying to remember the corners now.
I don't think I've ever seen a 4-wheel drive car break loose like that before.
Must have gotten the brakes extremely hard, but anyway, Dive Bomb already making a name to himself in this qualifying. About what, nearly, is that 90 seconds to go?
Roughly,
About
yes.
that.
Roughly 90 seconds. Charles still leads the way, 6/10 over Mashed Potato, who's less than a 10th over Ruby in 3rd. Let's see if some of these drivers can actually improve as they're coming up here. Let's see what Charles can do. Currently in pole position. One more corner for him to go. Panasonic. Last corner that leads out and start to finish straight. Very important to get this corner just right so you can carry as much speed onto the start-finish line as you can. He's not quite close enough to Ruby in front of him, though, to get a slipstream.
But watch out for Thomas, though, because he might get a good run. He might gain a few spots here. Let's see what he does.
Ruby will go 2nd. Charles won't improve. And Thomas
will
is
improve.
4th.
Stays in 4th. I'm just wondering here, as we've got nearly 30 seconds to go, how good Ruben has been. Do you think? because we know he didn't race in season 3. I don't know if he burnt himself out, but do you think this has revived Rubens to coming back into this?
Maybe a little bit. Ruby's always been a fast driver, and I think he always will be. I think he's just dealing with some other things in his personal life that he can't commit the time to ARC that he used to be able to. But I think if he could commit the time to ARC, he'd definitely be a contender at the top of tier, consistently doing top 5s that what we've normally seen from him. It's just this is a one-off race that he can kind of do in the team versus team, so he has time to do it. But committing to a full season he can't do. But he is on the reserve list for season 4, so he will do at least a few races.
Hopefully that's revived. As you see, one of the drivers in the background going wide for turn 10. Again, that's the corners that we need to mention. It's the 10-10 at Dunlop. How many drivers will go off there?
We've reached the 10-minute mark now, so qualifying should be over. It should be the last lap all these drivers are going to get. Let's see if we can find the driver.
Charles has gave up. Charles has gave up.
So
let's see what Taylor can do.
Qualifying should be over past the 10-minute mark, as far as I'm concerned, or as far as I know, I should say. Race 2, yep, it does say 10-minute quali. Taven will go 3rd, so great lap from him.
Matty stays in 8th. Here comes Mashed Potato. See what he does.
Ruben goes up to 2nd.
Ruben went back up to 2nd.
Let's see what some of the GRT boys can do, as a lot of the ARC boys have finished. So GRT Mashed Potato is currently the best placed driver for GRT in 5th. Jack looks to be aborting this lap racer. I don't think he can improve too much. Let's see what Mermaid, he's in 7th. He's in front of him. Looks to be Jack, Mashed Potato, and Racer, that's behind.
Let's see what Mashed Potato can do.
The wall stays 5th, so he's not going to improve. Mermaid up into 6th. So he
Mermaid's improved.
Cordell finishes in 7th, Maddie in 8th, Jack's in 9th, Marmite in 10th, Jack moves up to 8th, Marmite in 9th. Does someone improve here? Or am I crazy?
Matty's got up to 7th. Oh. Matty must have improved. No?
No, I think he stayed.
Someone left?
I think Jack moved up, I think.
Oh, okay then. Jack,
But Cordell, interestingly, the back of the pack in 12th.
Oh, that must have been him. He must. Oh, okay. So he would have been 6th.
I know it's because he pulled in 141.1. That would put him 7th.
It was 7th. Yeah, 7th. Yeah.
So Cordell 7th, Matty 8th, Jack 9th, Marmite 10th, Dive Bomb 11th, Racers in 12th. Well, that's your timing for this race. That's qualifying over. Charles TT once again on pole position with a 140.2.
Yeah, there's no stopping this Charles, isn't he? I mean, what's he done? What's in his breakfast?
He's been drinking a lot of Lucozade. That's what he's been doing.
I mean, this is like the same as Nugatti. I mean, his rise has been astronomical. I think, I was seeing about mentioning Nugatti could be one of the favourites among the chilling and Dans. I would expect Charles to be up there too. The way he's been driving, it's been exceptional.
Bit of a spoiler for the timing list. He definitely qualified into Tier A and put it on some of the guys like Dan's that we normally seen up there. So, fair play to Charles. He definitely needs business for the upcoming Season 4. But as I was saying, it's Charles in 1st, on pole position, Ruby 2nd, Taven 3rd, Thomas 4th, Mashed Potato 5th for GRT, Mermaid 6th, Cordell in 7th, Matty 8th, Jack 9th, Marmite in 10th, Dive Bomb 11th, and Racers in 12th. And that's our qualifying grid. And we're going to get the race here started momentarily. I believe in roughly 2 minutes is when we're going to start for another 30-minute race around Fuji.
That feels like an own goal for ARC, considering GRT, as you said, they're more racing into GR4. To have ARC have 1, 2, 3, and 4, that just shows to GRT, we can race in whatever class we can do. We're racing.
So momentarily we're going to get underway. Are we going to see a repeat of race 1, do you think? Or do you maybe think GRT is going to try and bring it back?
I think GRT is going to try and bring it back. They've got nothing to lose. Again, watch out for Mashed Potato. See if he's a little bit more confident in this car than he was in the GT3 car. Cordell, again, could be a threat. I want to see if Dive Bomb will dive bomb into turn 1, cause a massive wreck. But other than that, you know, GRT's got nothing to lose. I mean, they're, 71 points back of ARC. So, you know, you could say the team versus team could be over. Don't want to sound too big-headed for saying that, but you don't know. ARC may struggle here, and they might slip up, although it's very rarely that happens. But we'll see in half an hour's time.
We will. The race is about to get started here. A few seconds to go. Back to the race feed we go, and we're going to get underway here for the final race of the ARC versus GRT team versus team event. It's again here at Fuji and the Group 4 Honda NSXs, and it's Charles TT on pole position, followed by Ruben, Taven, Thomas, and Ford. Mashed Potato for GRT in 5th, Mermaid, Cordell, Maddie, Jack, Marmite, Dive Bomb, and Racers. Where you see the grid in front of you. The lights are going to start to come on here momentarily. 1, 2, and then 3, 4, and then 5 lights. What's going to happen here as we head towards turn 1 underway? We are. Let's see who's going to get away with a good start. It looks like Charles will hold on to the lead. Most of the grid seems to maintain position. Ruby's going to look to the inside. Perhaps Taven going to maybe try and go for that move up the inside. Mashed Potato late braking around the outside. Going to try and take away that 3rd position from Taven, looking farther back in the field. Fairly clean through turn 1. That's good to see. So Mashed Potato definitely taking that 3rd place. We see Dive Bomb still in 11th, trying to find a way to fit in. Cordell in a solid 6th place. And now we're single file through 100R.
Yeah, a lot more cleaner than what it was at Interlagos. But yeah, Charles, good start. Nice start for Mashed Potato. Already gained the spot. Taven looks like he's not lost a lot of them. So we'll see what Taven can really do instead of trying to make a recovery field. As you see, the gatekeeper Matty holding off a charge of the GRT boys.
But interesting, I think the thing we were not to watch is Mashed Potato here. He's looking really racy over the back of Ruben. He's getting real close to him. Mashed Potato been a bit of a surprise here as he looks up the inside of Ruben and he goes for it. Side by side they are, but he can't hold the move.
Going into 10-12 there, now 10-13 Mets, which Potato's going to slide his way to the inside, not going to do it. And then into 10-14, Panasonic. Mashed Potato looking really hungry. Stick a bit of gravy on that game attack.
He's in the draft here across the mile-long start-finish straight. Charles has a huge lead already over Ruby, but whether Mashed Potato will be able to find a way by, he's going to go up early. He's not going to stick in the draft, but that could possibly hurt him. Bit of a contact there, I think. A bit of a touch, but now Ruby's in his draft with 3 of the ARC drivers behind him. Mashed Potato goes defensive. Ruby goes to the outside. It's hard to make the outside move work here, but it can be done. Ruby's going to try and make it stick. It looks like he got it done. He's going to have the inside for the next corner, and Ruby's through into 2nd.
Wow, Ruby again showing why the old school drivers, you know, there's life in the old dog yet, isn't it, for Ruby? What a pass there, going into Coca-Cola and retakes that 2nd place.
Cordell still in 6th place. The next best placed GRT driver, Maddie, still in 8th with the 4 GRT drivers. There's a spin in the back of the field.
So it's off. That's Marmite.
Marmite with a big spin through 100R. What happened here? Let's see if we can find out.
I think he must have slipped on some boffle. There, yeah, he has, and off he goes. Oh dear.
Tried to cut back across on the grass, and the rear end just spun out on him. So mistake from Marmite. He's now 6 seconds behind Racers in 11th. Back at the front of the field, Charles leads 1.3 seconds over Ruby in 2nd, Mashed Potato in 3rd, Taven in 4th, Cordell in 5th. So we managed to get by Thomas TT while we were watching that spin there from Racer or Marmite, excuse me. So Cordell into 5th, Thomas into 6th, Mermaid in 7th, Maddie 8th, Jack 9th, Dive Bomb 10th, and Racers 11th with Marmite in 12th.
Keep an eye out for Cordell versus Thomas. On board with Thomas. Looks like he's just sticking it behind Cordell, possibly saving fuel. I wonder if the GRT boys are silently going to save fuel, trying to copy what ARC's been doing.
That two drivers ran out of fuel that last race, so it definitely seems to be a weak point for him. Perhaps thinking a bit more rationally. Thomas definitely not going for the passes. Ooh, there's a bit of an incident at the back here.
No contact. That's Matty and Jack.
Let's see if we can find out what happened here. So Matty's in 8th. Matty's in 8th. Jack comes diving from way far back.
Wow. Maybe he should be called Dive Bomb.
Let's see if we can get that replay from Jack's point of view.
He must have broke extremely late. Let's see.
He's several car lengths back here, almost 50 meters back. He breaks. Wait, he just misses his braking zone. He just completely forgets to brake. He tries to go the inside of Matty, trying to avoid contact. He lets him back by, though, so good racing, or good sportsmanship, kind of, but I don't think the stewards are going to take too kindly to that one.
He's going to lose another spot to race a 294 in the process as they go through Dunlop. But yeah, I'll tell you what, Matty, he will not be happy with that, because that was a huge gap between himself to Jack, and
he braked 50 meters too late. He forgot to brake.
He just went kamikaze into Matty.
It didn't look like. I don't think it was on purpose. He tried to take avoiding action. He did try to avoid Matty, but he still tried to make the corner at the same time. And I think it was just a mistake, honestly, on his part.
Anyway, looking at Taven all over the back of. Oh, where's? Oh, sorry, Mashed Potato in 3rd. Taven. Yeah, looks like to me Taven's just
saving fuel.
Content, yeah, he's content to save, back behind Mashed Potato, saving that fuel, as you said, as well as Thomas and that.
Speaking of fuel, we're currently 4 laps in here. Let's have a look at everyone's fuel. Everyone roughly at 25%, so it seems to be Mashed Potato has learned his lesson this time around. He's actually saving a bit of fuel.
Yeah, it looks like everyone's on exactly the same amount of fuel. That's weird.
Roughly, pretty much. Some of the drivers towards the back are just a little bit more, like Marmite and Racers, but everyone seems to have, I would say, learned their lesson.
Going to Dunlop yet again for the 4th time. Charles, Ruby, Mashed Potato. A little bit of a gap now, and it's a battle going on for 6th between Mermaid and Thomas. Mermaid goes by. Penalty for Dive Bomb.
It's a very small penalty. There only is one penalty, just 2 penalty burns. One's across the start-finish line here at Fuji. Another one's between turn 7 and 8. So the turn 6 hairpin and the 300R of turn 9.
Oh, but he served it there, which is...
It was 0.0. It was 0.0.
Oh, yeah.
There's not too much you can do with how the penalty system works in this game. Some of it will end up being served naturally, and it's 0.0, so not much you can do about that. Up here with Mermaid and Thomas. I wonder if Mermaid's going to try and find a way by Cordell here. Cordell looks to be going slightly defensive.
There we go. The battle re-invited again from Interlagos. Let's see what they're going to be driving like here. Looks like he's going for it.
Oh, it sets up the dummy. Goes back to the other side. Can't find a way by, though. Mermaid using all the track, trying to find the best way around, trying to get the run at the exit.
Yeah, he's done that a couple of times, hasn't he? Doing the old dummy, the old crisscross. Cordell has learned from that this time.
Now they go on to 100R. A long sweeping right-hander. Bit of a dab of the brakes from Cordell.
This will, with the tyres being on ×5, this will hurt the left tyres a lot. Into hairpin. Such a wide exit, and Cordell using all of it.
The Mermaid's still all over him. You can make a passing opportunity here into Dunlop. The Mermaid go for it. He's close enough. He can try and dive in. He brakes later than Cordell. Doesn't quite touch the back of him though.
I think that corner is a little bit of a risky to overtake someone. How fast that is. It's getting closer going into Metz though. Take a wide lane.
Cordell definitely trying to be as defensive as he can to not let Mermaid slip up the inside of him.
Cordell's looking a bit uncomfortable under the brakes to me.
Looks that way to me too. Whether or not he's just uncomfortable with the pressure Mermaid's giving him, or if he's just really trying to go for that different line here. So Cordell, is he going into the pit lane? No, he's just taking this very aggressive defensive line. Mermaid all over him. He's going to look to the outside here. Cordell way too tight to make this corner. Mermaid's going to take the line away from him. He's going to take the line away from him. There comes Thomas. The outside.
I'll tell you what, Cordell and Mermaid, there are no love lost between these two, isn't there?
There definitely isn't. It's definitely giving us some great racing to watch, though.
And Thomas backing off a little bit there. Being smart is Thomas. That's experience there for you. Let them two battle.
Let's take a bit of a break from this and have a look at the front of the field as Charles 1.6 seconds ahead of Ruby in second. Mashed Potato still in third with Taylor behind him. Then we have the battle we were watching between Cordell, Mermaid, and Thomas TT, and then back behind them is Dive Bomb in 8th, Maddie in 9th after his contact with Jack, who's currently behind him in 10th, Racers in 11th, and then Mermaid after his spin in 12th.
I'm doing well to catch up, I see too. Here comes Mermaid to the inside, turn 11, I'm going to do it.
Looking real racy, this pack here.
Well, especially Mermaid, at least. Now Cordell, I don't think Thomas is wanting to play any part of this. He's just happily just trying to save fuel and sticking behind, but it's really Mermaid. He wants to get ahead of Cordell by the looks of it. I was just about to say when you were looking at Mermaid, he's definitely catching in on races. If someone's got a penalty ahead, is that Taven again?
It is Taven.
He's going to serve it.
Serves it now across the penalty burn zone.
So he's going to lose a lot of ground to Mashed Potato, and he'll fall into Cordell, who's defending for Mermaid, who's doing another dummy.
Trying to find a chink in the armor of Cordell, but he's yet to find it. He's trying to find that weak point. He just can't see it.
I tell you what, Cordell's a fast learner. He's now learning the tricks of trying to hold your position, and he's doing so far a great job to hold on to 5th place. Well, one's right for Coca-Cola. That's going to allow Mermaid to go possibly through, maybe? No.
Real close between these two, and as it looks to be, Dive Bomb has a penalty behind them. Almost a second, but he should be serving it here, so this will be a good representation of our penalty burn zones. It should be right around here he's burning it.
Or he might not know it. He might not know it.
He should. If he's racing, he should. That is on the driver. On the team to tell the driver. But he did not burn the penalty burn, so I'm sure a penalty will be issued via the stewards for that.
Unless he's going to burn it at the start-finish stream.
Still holding on to 5th place. Mashed Potato still in 3rd for GRT. 18 minutes remaining in this race around Fuji.
Dive Bomb served his penalty not at a penalty burn. Just burned it going in towards Panasonic.
The stewards will have to reprimand for that one. Cordell still goes defensive across the start-finish line. A bit of a weave there. Let's have a look back from Cordell. He's as close to the inside as he can. Goes back to the other side a little bit to set up for the move. Put this car in the middle of the track. Forces Mermaid to pick a side. Mermaid's going to try around the outside. Maybe go for the undercut. Does Cordell cut off the apex? He does. And still holds on to 5th.
You can just see in the background Thomas breaking a little bit out there. He doesn't want to be involved in this, but he must be having the best seat in the house watching them two have a go. As Mermaid going in Coca-Cola. Not going to happen there. That's not really an overtaking opportunity. It would have been great if he made a stick, but Thomas has got the best seat in the house here. As you ride on board with him, going to 100R. Mermaid a little wide through the middle of the complex. Although Cordell must have made a mistake.
Mermaid's doing everything he can to try and find a way by, but just can't seem to find the open door.
Going into Dunlop, turn 10. Mermaid sticks in behind Cordell. And into turn 11 we go. Now going into nets. This is turn 13 now. And Panasonic turn 14. Nearly 15 minutes to go, and still Charles has a possibly have a good lead.
Like
but anyway, let's see.
Mermaid got a good run there at the last corner.
Yeah.
Interesting
Now
to
then.
see. I want to have a look at their actual fuel wear during this. Whether or not Cornell is actually using more fuel than Oh, there he is.
He's got it. He went flat out in their pits there too.
He did, but actually interesting,
shortcut.
if you look at Mermaid's fuel compared to what Cordell had, if I can find it after he's going to the pit stop, Mermaid had significantly more than what Cordell was using, so he was trying to find a way by while short shifting throughout the rest of the lap. So
Dive bomb's gone into the pits. Sorry there. But I tell you what, Taven has closed up on mashed potato after 7.5 second penalty. A couple of laps ago. Taven's all over the back again of mashed potato.
And he is, but Taven's still sitting there. Let's have a look at the difference in fuel wear, what Taven and mashed potato have, and that's a fairly significant difference, especially in tire wear.
I'm just wondering if mashed potato's a pad user.
Quite
possibly, mate. Yeah, quite possibly.
It'd be interesting to see that why mashed potato actually didn't pit at the same time as the rest of his teammates. They all pitted roughly around the 15-minute mark here. I wonder if ARC is going to try and... They can't quite make a one-stop work based on their fuel load and their tires. A one-stop wouldn't work. They should be pitting roughly this time or within the next few laps.
Do you know, I think a one-stop should work. Yeah, I think it should, because it's less than 14 minutes to go. They've lasted the tyres half distance.
A one-stop, yes. I was going to say a no-stop. A no-stop wouldn't work.
Oh, you were saying a no-stop. Okay, then. That's all right. So it looks like... Oh, Charles is in. It looks like Ruby was going in as well. Will Taven follow suit? Yes, he did, as well as mashed potatoes. So here we go. Looking at the fuel system. It's like... Yeah, in fact, the top 6 are all in. Who looks good on the fuel? It's a bit pixelated to me. Thomas looks
Mermaid and Taven seem to have the highest of anyone so far. Thomas has the highest of anyone, the 34%. Charles comes out as we expected.
Yeah, because he had quite a hefty lead over Ruby.
Being second.
It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting to see who's gonna come out. Taven or mashed potato. They're side by side. Oh!
Maybe a bit of a swipe across, but Taven takes that third place for mashed potato, so he baits him in the fuel stop. Mashed potato's not going to quite let him have it easy, but Taven's going to have the inside for Coca-Cola here. Will he hold on to third? Yes, he will.
He will indeed. So Taven last mashed potato. Also interesting to see Cordell's lost the spot. Mermaid and Thomas have gone by Cordell, even though he pitted a lap earlier, so the undercut didn't work for Cordell, sliding his way through 100R.
And it hasn't. Dive Bomb is in 8th, and Maddie is still in 9th. So this right now really is the close battle on track, other than the one between Taven and mashed potato. Actually, mashed potato back in front of Taven now. He missed that pass. See if we can get a replay on that.
Must have passed through the hairpin. Taven went heavily defensive, missed his braking line, and mashed potato did the cutback. Yeah, the hairpin, solid pass for mashed potato. He looks relatively comfortable driving this car around here, doesn't he, mashed potato?
He does. 13 minutes left to go here in this race.
I don't think Taven would be that bothered if he'd let mashed potato go ahead of him. I mean, don't forget, there's 71 points the difference between ARC to GRT. It's not really big of an issue, but it would be quite nice to see an ARC 1-2-3, wouldn't it?
And it would. Let's see if Taven actually uses the draft here to see if he can find a way by mashed potato. He's in the draft, he's pulling up, so he's definitely not saving fuel. There's a move flag. I'm not quite sure what that's for. Mashed potato goes defensive into turn 1 as they approach the braking zone. Mashed potato seems to hold on to it. Can't.
Watch out for Mermaid, because he's quite close by.
It definitely is close, but not quite close enough to make the move stick. And Cordell's still behind Thomas TT. We almost have a repeat of what we were watching earlier in this race, except now it's mashed potato and Taven and Mermaid.
I tell you what, in fairness, Mermaid has been an absolute joy to watch. The way he's been driving it into Lagos and here again, I mean, he's been so far really entertaining to watch tonight.
That he has, and everything he's done so far has been absolutely clean. I haven't seen anything too dirty. This isn't the Mermaid we had in the Game Trophy Cup, where he ended up getting disqualified from the championship, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he did get, yeah. It's allowed Nerv to win the title. Tell you what, we haven't heard a lot from Nerv these days.
It's true, we haven't.
Anyways, back to the racing.
Here comes Taven. He's trying to find a way by Mashed Potato. He's on the outside. We're going to try to step the outside through Panasonic. Perhaps go for the undercut on the exit. Takes the wide entry. I don't think he's going to work here. He's too far back. But he's going to try and carry more speed on the start-finish line. He's going to pull out early.
He had a great run in the middle of Panasonic. Now what Mermaid will definitely help Taven get by here. So Mashed Potato could be a sitting duck. He might lose a couple.
Here comes
As Spots has already lost one. Here comes Mermaid now.
Getting real close.
That's clever. That's clever. Taven's done something clever. He actually moved over to the right to allow Mermaid go by, get the slipstream, and make him pass Mashed Potato. That was clever racing etiquette from Taven.
Great teamwork there. Sneaking up the greater picture there, so great job from Taven to give his teammate the draft and make the pass work on Mashed Potato. And there comes Thomas TT behind, 2 seconds behind Mashed Potato. Still holding on to that 6th place over Cordell. Mermaid now has to go defensive. He's going to try to dive the inside, and Mermaid lets him have it. Not going to fight him on it. He knows he can take it back once again and start finish straight. But the more they fight, the more the 2 cars behind are going to close up.
Again, Taven taking a wide lane through that corner to allow Mermaid to get into Taven's slipstream. Didn't work this time. Taven going defensive, going into turn 11. Mashed Potato going for the crisscross now.
It's good to go, and everything's starting to pop off here for this final spot on the podium.
It's anyone's team. Look at Mermaid, look at this! He's going to take a double pass. Taven sacrifices third place to let Mermaid go by.
And they both moved up in front. That was great teamwork for Taven.
And Thomas is catching them.
Now look, now Taven's going to leave Thomas the draft, as Mermaid's trying to block off Mashed Potato.
They're going to make it 3 wide, nearly.
They're going to box him in here. They're going to make it so he can't move.
Yeah, they used the Mashed Potato as a pin. Tell you what, this is some great racing. The Mashed Potato holds on, late breaking, superb for Mashed Potato. Here comes Mermaid through 9G, little sideways. And now Thomas has invited himself into this battle, and then it's pretty soon Cordell was. This is a great race here, this.
This is, and fair play to Mashed Potato. He's doing a great job to not fight with his now 3 cars.
That is superb there, and Mashed Potato already gone. He wants to get away from that battle. Tell you what, he stuck to his guns, and he did it superb, did Mashed Potato.
PRCDB in chat. Just to let you know, I do have all the times in front. If you are worried that you won't be able to stay up in time to know whether or not you were qualified ahead of Techno overall, I can let you know your positions right now if you're afraid you won't be able to stay up and watch.
Just get yourself a cup of tea, Pierre. You'll be awake for a few minutes then.
Cup of hot lemonade there, Snap Boy?
Yeah, a cup of hot lemonade should do the trick, right? Just stick it in the microwave for 4 minutes, it'll be bright as rain. Anyway, let's see what Mermaid and Taven and Thomas can do. I think they'll just tuck into this battle. Mashed Potato already going on in the defensive. Weaving left and right.
He's over half a second over Mermaid. He's definitely pulling on him in the slipstream. Now you see even in the back there. Yeah, definitely in the background. Ooh. Dive bomb weaving on the track.
Yeah, I don't know if that's allowed. He's weaved too many times.
Yeah.
Although he's going to scrub off a lot of speed for doing that.
He didn't think that one through. So there goes Matty trying to go around the outside, carrying more speed in the dive bomb. The dive bomb didn't really think that one through.
Yeah, that wasn't too clever from dive bomb, although he did nearly push Matty onto the AstroTurf. But yeah, that was not smart thinking from dive bomb.
For this battle here, Mashed Potato still in third. Mermaid, Taven, and Thomas, and then Cordell. Ooh, but looks like Mashed Potato went really wide, but he holds on to the position. But now allows Mermaid to close right up. And once again, this battle has reignited for third place.
Can we see if Marmite has gained any positions? Because I did see he was closing in on whoever was in 11th place. I forgot who it was. Has he gone by?
Nope, he is not.
No, he's still last. Oh, he's down by 13 seconds, so he must have had a moment somewhere. Anyways, what's going on for third place? What's happening?
Well, it looks to be they're still in the same position, but it looks like Mermaid is all over Mashed Potato. Let's see what happens. Yeah, let's go on board with Mashed Potato and look behind as he heads up to the start-finish line. Charles and Ruben are way out in front. I don't think anyone's going to challenge them at this point. I think he's going to fall back behind Mermaid, get in the draft, save a bit of fuel. Mashed Potato needs to rep his car if he wants to stay in front here.
We're getting ever closer. You can eat Mashed Potato, seen that, and he's going heavily defensive. Look at him going over the pit wall.
Into the braking zone.
He's
Mermaid brakes
squeezing
later.
Mashed Potato.
Ooh, bit of a touch. A bit of a touch, but he misses the braking zone. And he goes way wide because of that touch. He couldn't brake efficiently enough. And now all three ARC drivers are about to go by him because of it.
To be able to get a replay on that to see it like on a different camera, see if there was. See. It just seemed to me that Mermaid leaned on Mashed Potato.
They did touch going into the braking zone.
Would you classify that as another go-kart maneuver?
I just happen to have lost sound in my computer here, so I can't hear what you're saying, Savola, just so you know. I can still hear the game audio, though.
I was just about to say, do you think was that a typical go-kart maneuver, get the car unsettled from Mashed Potato? Oh, Mashed Potato, oh, wow. Still that battle going on. Into third place.
I need you to take
still
the
there.
here for commentary, Savoy. I cannot hear what you are saying.
What's
Not
happened?
an issue on your end.
Oh, was it an issue on your end? Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Oh, thank God for that. Hello, Laro, I just missed you.
We'll look back the battle for 8th place. Maddie and Dive Bomb still side by side. Maddie trying to once again make the move stick on the outside. He can do it. Will Dive Bomb run him wide towards the AstroTurf? Not quite. He still can't find a way by. Back to the battle for 3rd place. Taven, Mermaid, and Thomas still ahead. Once again, it's top 5 for ARC as there's 3.5 minutes remaining.
This is good to watch. This is as Cordell one's extremely wide through hairpin. Is that a penalty?
Doesn't look like it.
No, doesn't look it to me. No, okay. He did lose a lot of ground. Mashed Potato really wants to get that podium spot back to salvage something for GRT here, doesn't he?
Okay, look at the inside. There he's trying. Not quite close enough to get it done though. Or is he?
He's going to have the outside for Panasonic though. And he might need a crisscross. No, we do it.
Let's go on board with the Mashed Potato and see if he can find a way by. He's in the slipstream. 2.5 minutes remain.
So roughly, possibly,
Should
this
get one
lap
more
and then
lap.
the next lap.
This next lap, and then the final lap is the next lap.
Yeah. So technically, this will be the penultimate lap. But let's see what Mashed Potato can do. Will he dive bomb going into turn 1? Looks a little bit better on the brakes other than Thomas.
But close enough to go for it though. And Cordell's falling right back. So Cordell, I think, is going to be out of this fight. So it's just on Mashed Potato to score some solid points for GRT, excuse me.
Yeah, Cordell, Mashed Potato's lost his friend Cordell in the process, so ARC is just coming up rosies.
If you seeing Thomas starting to fight with the tire wear on that NSX, just the entire car starting to slide. The 4-wheel drive wears the tires more than what it would be in just a rear-wheel drive car, so you see the entire car start to slide out when on apex.
I've just noticed on the screen, Matty's gone by 8th. He's passed Dive Bomb.
He has. So Matty elevates himself to 8th place over Dive Bomb. Still in this battle for 6th place. One more lap. The next lap should be the final lap.
Mashed Potato wants it. He wants that 5th place, or even that 3rd place.
Let's have a look at everyone's fuel and tire wear so far.
I think they're all good to go, to be fair, aren't they?
Yeah, everyone's good to go. Everyone is good to go.
I mean, you can't blame Mashed Potato for trying. He is definitely sliding that Honda. He's trying to find any gap to get by Thomas and Mermaid and Taven, but I just don't think that there could be a way by for Mashed Potato. I'm afraid his Dive Bomb's gone by ahead of Matty.
Yeah, he has, and it looks, will he do what he saw him do a few laps ago? No, it looks like he's calmed down a little bit, picks the one side, sticks to it. Matty's in his draft. He's going to force Dive Bomb to the inside. He's going to try and carry more speed around the outside. Dive Bomb moves back over to take away his line. Matty breaks a bit later.
Late breaks. He's
Dive Bomb misses the braking zone.
Misses it, yeah, and there goes Matty. And through back into 8th place, and hopefully that's Matty past Dive Bomb for good. 5 seconds to go. This will be the last lap. Mashed Potato's sort of falling back a wee bit from Thomas.
We have confirmation that this is the final lap. Let's see if anything will develop here between these 4 cars. I don't think Mashed Potato's quite close enough unless he goes for that last lap, last ditch pass, but I don't think he's quite close enough to make that work.
He's too far back. I think he's held those tyres enough now. I don't think he's going to catch up to Thomas, but can we see where Charles is at the moment? He might be at next corner. No, he's at Panasonic. What a debut this has been for Charles. His first team versus team, and he gets 2 wins for ARC. That is what you call sheer perfection.
Congratulations to Charles. He's been on a winning streak for all the races he's been on so far. I think he won the final round of Mazda. He won in his class at Bathurst. Now he's got 2 wins here in TvT.
Oh no, he disconnected. He disconnected at Bathurst, mind.
Oh yes, that is correct. Excuse me. But there comes Ruben in second. Let's see what happens here. Taven looks to come across the line in 3rd. They're going to try and stage a photo finish a little bit.
Oh, it was Taven that just got 3rd ahead of Mermaid. Then Thomas. Then Mashed Potato. Then Cornell. Matty well ahead of Dive Bomb. So what an effort that is for Matty. 8th place. Even though we haven't seen it for a couple of months, finished 7th and 8th. That's pretty good going for Matty.
Dive Bomb in 10th. Jack in 10th. They're going to be side by side. Did they run out of fuel? Nope. They're just taking a bit of a photo finish here.
Picture it on the camera, boys. Here we go. Double file. Shades of, what was it? Schumacher and Barrichello at US Grand Prix 2000.
Oh, they're going to wait. They're going to wait for Marmite.
Come on, Marmite. Come on. Let's get going. Have a free wide finish here. Come on.
Oh, no. They're just going to... Marmite go through. No.
Oh, he's got a penalty. He had a penalty.
Oh, he had to serve the penalty. It's okay. He served it in the right zone, but there you go.
There's a good photo finish. Hey!
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. There's your ARC versus GRT race. There's your winner once again, DN Charles, pole position, fastest lap, and led from flag to flag. You can't ask better than that. Let's pull up the race results. There we go. Charles, your winner. Ruben in 2nd. Taven in 3rd. Mermaid in 4th. Thomas in 5th. Mashed Potato for GRT in 6th. And then Cordell also in 7th for GRT. Matty in 8th. Dive Bomb in 9th. Jack in 10th. Racer 11th. And Marmite in 12th. But ladies and gentlemen, that will conclude our team versus team event for today. That was a pretty good one there, Savloy.
That was a very good one. The battle for 3rd was very tasty. Charles had it, he just checked out after the first lap. Ruby, solid effort. We didn't talk a lot about him, but he was just doing what he was doing, finishing at a solid 2nd place. Hopefully that has, revived him to race a lot more races in season 4. I hope so, because we do like to see the Pablo Picasso back in TNA. And hopefully from this, that will help. But yeah, I mean, what of a better start you can have for Charles? His debut team versus team, and he gets 2 wins from it. You can't ask for anything more, can't you?
You really can't. So Charles might, if you're looking at coming out season 4, Charles might be the one to take everything. But that being said, speaking of season 4, what a lot of people watching are going to be waiting for is our season 4 information and car roulette stream. That will be happening after this one. It will be a separate stream, so another stream will go up. There will be a different link, a different video you would click on for that. It won't be happening on this link. They'll be going live, I want to say, in roughly 20 to 30 minutes as we get everything prepared for that and cover all the information for you. So if you want to see what cars your teams are going to be picking, where you finished in the time trials, who your teammates are, if you're not aware, that's all going to be up in there. So be sure to keep an eye out for that. I'm sure links will be posted in the Discord when that all goes live. But ladies and gentlemen, my name has been Lateral G. This is when you say your name.
Oh, I've been Savoy, sorry. I was just annoyed because we just had Ruby in the chat here. I thought we were going to get some questions off him, but we'll probably hear from him in the next stream.
Well, that'll be it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching. If you hit that like and subscribe, check out our merch on our Adrenaline Racing Community at teespring.com/Adrenaline Racing Community. If you want to buy merch, t-shirts, hoodies, stickers, mugs, it's all there. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching, and don't forget to keep racing and check out the car roulette stream that'll be happening momentarily.